Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with a video, and this video is going to be all about Linux and Linux commands that you need. So these are some of the basic commands that a person should know when they're working with Linux. Why am I saying about Linux? Because in software-defined radio, most of the software that I normally work on, they are based on Linux. They are available in different platforms like Windows and Mac OS, but the scalability and the adaptability that is available for the software in Linux is good. The software that I work on is actually GNU Radio Companion. It is actually a native software for Linux machine, but now you'll find a support in your Mac OS and Windows system as well. So these are some of the commands that I think everyone should know to get to know when they're working with Linux. The first set of commands that I'm going to list, they are going to be your file and directory operation commands, and in which the first thing that you need when you open up terminal, you can press ls. What it will give you the list of all the files and directories that is there in that particular home file that you're in. You can see the present working directory that you are in by typing pwd. All right, so you're right now in home/live. So this is the present working directory that you're in. By typing pwd, it will tell you which folder that you are currently in and which directory you are in. So ls has different flavors. So for example, if you type in ls, it will give you a list of all the folders, all the files and things like that. You can type in ls space tag l. It will give you in a form of like all the files with respect to their dates and what type of permission it is. So for example, rw, you can read and write, execute, read, and things like that. These are all different permissions which are there. You can also type in ls space a. It will give you all the hidden files that is also there in your Linux command. What are some of the hidden files that you're not seeing by just simply typing ls? All right, the other command that everyone should know is cd, which means change directory. So for example, right now, you can see that before that $, there is a tilde symbol. So this is basically your home folder, sort of like in home folder. But if you want to go to a root folder, you can simply type in cd and /. It will take you, now this tilde has changed into root folder. Now when I press ls, you will find all the root folders. I mean, these are like the core files where you have your operating systems and other things like that. So by typing in cd, it will change directory. It will take you to there. So by just simply typing in cd, it will take you back to your tilde, which means your home folder. Basically, not like in Windows you have like program files. So it will take you basically to the main page. So when you do pwd, you will see that you are in a home folder. The next thing you want to do, the next command that everyone should know is actually make directory. So by simply typing in mkdir, if you're familiar with these commands will 90% or 80% of the time will work perfectly fine in your Linux machine, in your Mac OS as well. So make directory. Let's say I want to make a folder called commands. So make directory, press commands. Now ls it. So there's a folder. There should be a folder called commands right here. That has a folder called make directory that has a folder. So you can cd into it by simply ls it. You can see the list of it, and then you can go to cd and then go to commands. It will take you back into that folder now. So you are inside of this command folder. ls it, there's nothing in that folder, so you can just simply go out. Cd 2 times pressing a period will take you one folder back. So right now you're back in here in command, back in that original folder that you were in. So by cd and pressing space, pressing 2 periods, it will take you back one folder. So this is one. Simply ls it. There's also another command that you need. It's called rm. Rm which means remove. So for example, so I want to remove command. So I'm just going to simply type in rm and then pressing space, tag r, and let's say I want to remove a folder called commands. So I'm just going to simply type in, and this folder is no more there. All right. Sometime you want to do actually forcefully remove something, forcefully remove a folder. So let me just simply mkdir. Let me just make a folder called build and ls it. And you can also type in rm space tech rf build. It will forcefully remove this folder. Sometime you need to use sudo. It depends. So right now you are not in a root folder, which means you can remove it without using a sudo. But when you are in this root folder where you have a /, you have to probably use sudo. So for example, now let me go back to a folder called user. So notice this cd, I'm cding into /, which means I'm going to my main folder and I'm going to a folder called usr. Now when I look at it, it's right here. I'm going to a USR, and within that USR, I'm going into a folder called source. So when I ls it, this is where I have all of my tools available in Dragon OS. So you can go into a single folder. Now when I type in pwd, present working directory, I am in a user / /source folder. So when I cd and 2 periods, I'll go back one folder, as I showed you before. So now let me just cd into src. And when I ls it, I have all of these folders there. Now let's say I want to move something from this folder to my desktop. So let me just go into any folder. Let's say, let me go to Falcon. cd into Falcon. So Falcon is right here because I want to move something. And let's say I want to move this readme file. All right, let's say I want to move this readme file. So for that, I want to do mv. I'll show you this, and I'm going to type in. So just type in a single letter, and when you press tab, it will actually automatically fills it up. But if you have multiple folders, like for example, if you have multiple files that you're moving, you will also do multiple files, and so on. So I'm going to move this, and I want to move this to home /live. This is where I want to move. Actually, I want to take this folder from user source Falcon. Excuse me. I want to move this readme file from user source Falcon to home live. And when I press this, now when you're working with these root folders, you will have a permission denied. So which means I need to do it with sudo. So when I press in sudo, I'll move this over here. Now I'll just cd, or you can just simply type in cd tilde. It will take you back to this folder. When I ls it, now I have this file which has been moved. All right, for readme file right now, it has been moved to this particular location. Now there's also another file. There's also another command that you should know. It's called touch. Let's say you want to make a file. All right, and so I want to make a file called. Though I can make a file using called touch. So I'm going to simply type in. So when you're making a folder, you have to type in mkdir. But when you're making a file, you can use it using this. So let me just do touch. And I want to make a file called test.py. I want to make a file called test.py. When I hit enter, I'll see this file. All right, test.py. Now, since it's Linux comes with a built-in text editor, which is known as Nano or Vim. I personally like Nano, so I can just simply type in Nano, and I want to open this file, test.py. So right now it's open. Now you can start coding. So for example, definition, commands, you can type in and things like that. You can do that. So I don't want to modify it. So you can do that using touch. Let's say you want to view the content of this particular file. So for that reason, there is also a command called cat. So cat is the thing that will help you actually look into that file. So just simply cat it, write cat, and then simply type in read md. And when you open it up, you will see inside of this, what's inside of this particular file using cat command. So this is similar. You can also do it. So let me just exit it out. You can also do it with Nano as well. So for example, let me ls it. You can also do Nano read md. You can also look at it like this, but you can also look at it with the help of call cat. Cat will help you see what's the content of that file, and this is the content of this file. All right. Now there's also another command called head. Head, what head will do, let me ls it, or let me clear it first and let me ls it. And let's say what head will do, it will help you display the first 10 line of your text file. So for example, I want to look into readme.md. So I want to do it like this. So I'm going to type in head, and I'm going to type in readmd. It will give me the first 10 lines. First 10 lines, what's written on first 10 lines. And you can specify the lines as well. Let's say you want to look at head, head, tag, and you want to look at what's the content of first 5 lines. So you can just simply type in your file name, and then you can also look at the first file. What is the content of first 5 lines? You can also do that. There's also a command called tail. Tail will help you. It will give you the last 5 lines of your text file. So for example, last 5 lines of my text file. So by simply typing in tail, I want to type in readme.md. It will give me the last 10 lines. I'm sorry, last 10 lines. And you can also specify the number of lines that you want to look at by typing in tag n and things like that. So these are like some of the commands that you need when you're navigating with respect to files. You can also do file permission as well. So let's say you want to have a file that is only executable. You want to make the file that is only readable, or you want to have a file that is just writable, readable, writable, and things like that. For that, you need a command called chmod. For that reason, I'm going to simply clear this out, and I will go to user/source. I'll go into ls, and I want to go into a folder. Let's say I want to make something executable. Let me just go into cd grfo. All right, let me just simply go into that. Let me see if I can find, so cd into grc file, and let me see if I can find an example. So no, they're not there. So let me just simply move out from here. Let me go to graoa, angle of arrival, AOA. I guess that's what it is. CD GRAOA. I want to look at CD examples. So let me go into the examples, ls it. Now, see, all of these files are grc files. Sometimes you will also have py files as well. So when you see a file like this, see, it's all in white text. So you want to make it executable. The thing that you need to do is you need to go to sudo when you're working with these type of files. Just to be safe, just sudo chmod, and I make every single file. There are different versions of it. There are different type of things that you can do with it. I just simply write in chmod 755, which will make it readable, writable, executable, and things like that. Test bench. And this, when I ls it, now this has turned into green, which means now this file has become executable. So you can execute this file by simply typing in Python and things like that. So let me try it. Python 3 test. And this is how you make your file executable in a form of a green. So that's how I actually do it. The other command that I normally use is actually sudo chmod. I use a plus x to make my particular file to be executable and things like that. I can also do that. You can also do that as well. This is what is related to permission. So the next set of command that we want to look at, which is, I think, is important, is how to unzip, compress, or uncompress your file. So for that, there's a tool called, so let me just ls this. So we just copied this file, which is called readme.md. We're going to compress it using a built-in compression tool, so which is called tar tag space tag czvf, where C is to create an archive file, Z is to compress the file, V is for verbose mode, and F is for naming the file. So basically what we're trying to do, we're trying to compress this file, which is called readme.md, using this. So C is for compressing this file, F is to giving a file name, V is the verbose mode, and Z is actually to compress, to tell it to compress a file. So by C is creating an archive of this file. So basically what you're going to do by simply typing in that file, now you're going to give a name to this file. So we're going to call this file, let's say, test, and then we're going to give it an extension called .tar.gz. And what is the file that you want to compress? So I want to compress this readme.md file. So I'm just going to simply type in tab it, and I'm going to hit enter. Now this file, you will see it in a form of a red file. Now, how do you decompress this file? It's a simple command. So in order for you to compress it, you're going to type in tar space tag czvf. You're going to give it a name, give it an extension, and what file that you want to compress. Now, in order for you to decompress this file, what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this, because after I decompress this file, it will actually give me this file. So I'm going to remove this file, which is called readme.md, as I ls it. This is there. So I'm just going to simply type in remove tag r, and I'm gonna delete this file. So by now we're gonna, when I decompress this file, I should get this file back. In order for you to do that, it's just simple tar tag for compression is actually x and then f and then test.grz. When I ls it, I'll find this file back. So this is how you actually compress it and decompress the file. Now, there are some commands that you need for process management command. I don't use them much, but I'm just going to show you anyway. What are some of the processes which are running? So for example, if you have your Google Chrome or Firefox which is running, by simply typing in ps, you'll find all the processes that is running. There is a built-in tool called, just like in your Windows machine we have device manager. When you do Control-Alt-Delete, you will find a task manager where you can go ahead and close the processes. This comes with Linux comes with a built-in tool called top, which will give you all the running process and their processing IDs. So you can kill it by giving a process ID name. So for example, if I want to kill any process, I can just simply type in 5107 kill. It will actually kill that particular process if you have multiple processes which is running. Right now I don't have much in the background that is running, so I'm gonna leave this as is. I have my screen recorder that is running. That's all it is. So just simply Control Z it, you will come out of this. So these are some of the processes that you can use. Now I'm going to clear this. There's a beautiful tool which is called grep. I use it a lot. So it's just called grep. It's actually basically allow you to see, you want to look at some particular words in a particular file. In a text file, you want to look at different type of patterns which are there in your file. You can do that by typing this command. So let me just simply ls it, and let's say I want to look at a particular letter. All right, I want to look at a particular letter, and I can do that. Let's say I want to look at read. So I have a text file which is called readme.md, and I want to simply go ahead and type in grep minus tag I, and I want to look at a word called free, I don't know, in a file called readme.md. So wherever the word free or letters will appear, it will give me that. All right, so that's the basic idea of it. So it by typing in I, it will ignore either if it's a capital letter or it's a small letter and things like that. So it will help you actually look at the file. It will search a particular letters for you, and by simply typing in grep. So by typing in I and O together, it will give you in a form of a chronologically. It will give you, all right, it appears 2 times, even though free is there, and things like that. Let's say you want to look at I want to match the whole word. So I want to just simply look at the word called the in an entire file. So I can simply type in tag for that, I think W, and then you can type in by writing a quotation mark. It will actually look for that entire word in that file. So all right, whenever there is an appearance of the by writing a quotation, and by writing W, it will show you that. So you can also do that by typing in, and I can type in O with it, so it will give you in a form of a list. It will also give you in a form of a list. You can also do this. So let me just by typing in WO, and by typing it, let me see, I can type in C with it. Let's see if it can give you a count as well. So it's giving you by writing it with in terms of O in a form of a list, and how many times the word the appeared in that file. It's around 58 times. So it's a very beautiful type of a command that everyone should know when they're working with Linux. So it's a must command. It's a must command that everyone should know. The next thing is some system information commands. So you can type in uname A. It will give you the username, print system information, and things like that. You want to look at some disk usage. You can just simply type in df. It will give you the disk usage. For example, I have a disk usage dbsd1, which is and things like that. This is mounted because I'm running a live commands and things like that. You want to list your USB devices, just simply type in lsusb. It will give you all the USB devices. So for example, I have my USB devices connected, which is running this this operating system. There are some basic networking command that everyone should know. So the first thing is ifconfig. Ifconfig. It's not ipconfig, just like in Windows. For Mac and for Linux, it's ifconfig. So it will give you all the platforms. So for example, I'm running it using my wireless LAN adapter. So this is what I'm seeing. You can type in ping command, ping www.google.com. It will actually ping that command and things like that. Just like in Windows, you've been doing it. It will just start pinging that, and will start keep pinging it. So you can do that. You can also type in trace root. I believe you can type in the whole thing, www.google.com. It will give you a trace root command and things like that. I think I'm typing it wrong. Basically, that's the idea behind this command. There's nothing much else that you need to know when you're working with these commands. So I hope you like this small tutorial. The built-in text editor, it's actually there, which is called Nano. So by simply type nano read md, you can edit this file and look at it and things like that. You can do a lot of things with it, or you can use something called cat command to actually look the content of that particular file. So if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching.